With the week of July 4th upon us, we decided to head out into the islands from Anacortes with some good friends of ours who would take their boat as well. We arrived in Anacortes on the evening of the 4th and enjoyed some spectacular fireworks before we hit the Sac. The next morning was cloudy and the rain was kind of threatening in the distance. We went ahead and took off anyway. Our plan was to take off from Anacortes, go down Guimi's Channel, cross Rosario Strait, and head up into Blind Bay. Even after arriving at Blind Bay, clouds still threatened rain, and there had been a couple of sprinkles. We went ahead and dropped the hook, made ourselves comfortable. And our bimini's up. We opened one side, of course. We had an available buoy, but we decided to drop anchor instead. Somehow it's just quieter when you're not on a buoy. This looks like some kind of a park up there. Anyway, here we are in Blind Bay. So we just had dinner. This is Blind Bay. That's Sherry doing something down there in the dark. And weirdly, the engine isn't working right. We suspect the float is stuck again, this time in a low position or high position, so it won't accept any fuel or very little fuel, so it'll run for 5 seconds and then die. Anyway, we're going to stop at Roach Harbor tomorrow and try and get some carb clean out. We put a little acetone in the fuel, but nothing so far. We'll try it again tomorrow. In the morning, our plan was to take off across San Juan Channel through Spiden Channel, stop at Roach Harbor for some fuel before heading on down to Garrison Bay. Here's Cher at the helm. Rosebud in the water. Rain. Rain and more rain. Yep. This is day 3 of rain. Oh, by the way, I'll get the Victoria Clipper in a sec. There's Debbie and Lewis. Oh, and by the way, that beeping is because we keep reading no bottom. We made a stop in Roach Harbor to pick up some fuel. Oh, let me get that Catalina.
There's Wave Dancer.
28 Mark II Catalina. Just south of Roach Harbor, we pulled into Garrison Bay. Garrison Bay is a shallow bay. It's well protected and it has excellent holding, so it's a really nice place to spend the evening.
My camera, I would have taken that heron. It's beautiful out.
It is. Our motor's not working. You notice I'm rowing.
Do you want me to try to pull while we're in here?
Good idea. I might do that too if you want. Anyway, there's us, anchored.
How do you get it to go down?
Oh, you lift that little thing.
Black.
We took the dinghies ashore to explore around English Camp and also wanted to check out some of the wildlife on the shore. We even saw deer later on. Most of the area around the bay, around Garrison Bay, is privately owned, but English Camp makes up probably 1/3 of the bay, and it's open to visitors year-round. During the joint occupation of San Juan Island by both the American and British forces, each country had its own camp on San Juan Island. This is the one the British used. I'm leaving. Oh, that's rare.
I counted 32 of them going single file.
With little hunting pressure on the island and few predators, the deer population seems to thrive. These are the original buildings. English Camp was first established by the Royal Marines in 1859 when they landed after sailing over from China. Basically, when they arrived, they found that the parade grounds were littered with shells from the various coastal Salish tribes that had inhabited this area before. Both English Camp and American Camp to the south are part of the San Juan Islands National Historical Park. This commemorates basically a 164-year-old conflict between America and Britain over the ownership of the San Juan Islands. It came to a head in what was called the Pig War, the only casualty, of course, being a pig.
Yeah? Okay, Louis. Here. Okay, Robert, are you taking pictures or movies?
Movies.
Oh, okay. You don't have a picture?
So we have to move?
But
He can make a picture out of a movie.
I thought it would look pretty with the lavender in front, the foreground, and the...
Yeah.
But no.
Don't
You
show
were
any...
mistaken.
No fat allowed to be shown. Oh.
Stand sideways.
yeah, and I can just take a still. In the morning, we took off from Garrison Bay and headed across Harrow Strait, going to the town of Sidney, where we cleared customs before heading back the other direction and winding up at Sidney Spit. This is us on our way to Sidney, on Vancouver Island. Sidney Spit is part of the British Columbia Marine Park System, and it's a beautiful spot. So we cleared through Sidney. Turns out, by the way, that our nexus doesn't allow us to go point to point. You always have to stop, which almost invalidates the whole point of the nexus, but you know, neither here nor there. Anyway, here's Sidney Spit. Grabbed a buoy because they're expecting small craft warnings tonight, 25 plus knots. Here's Debbie and Lewis, grabbed the buoy next to us. They're gonna go with us into the Spit in a minute. We're going to do some hiking. It's fairly warm, so that's good. We're going to row into this dinghy dock here.
Is that the pay box right there?
I think
No,
it's
I think
up
it's
here.
here, Louis.
Okay, because there's a, it says deposit here.
It's not there.
Look at how high the water's getting up there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you make it up there? Also, I brought have some memories.
Sherry, Louis,
Not
let me get a
looking-
closer. Can you guys stand in the sun?
How
Hey,
about
Bob?
over here?
Yeah,
Okay.
over there. Bob, do you mind if I get you?
Oh, not at all. I'm just trying to get the islands out there to the south.
I feel left out. I don't have my camera.
That's usually me.
In the evenings, the Provincial Park Patrol comes around collecting money for the moorings. Here they come.
Favorite
spots,
spots too, actually.
Do you guys work in the same place all the time? I mean, or do you travel around to different parks?
No, we travel around, which is why this map is useful, because we're here.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Hello, bonjour. Hello, bonjour.
I think calm mornings are my favorite while at anchor. Around the Spit, you get some really beautiful sunrises and sunsets because you've got such an extensive view of the horizon. It's funny, it's from probably 3 miles away, possibly 4 miles. You can hear the traffic in Sydney in the morning. It's pretty amazing. With little wind, we left later that day and took off around the north end of the Saanich Peninsula, heading to Bouchard Cove and the world-famous Bouchard Gardens. The cove itself is fairly well protected, and they have ring ties, stern tie areas, and some buoys set up for visitors. Bouchard Gardens is a fun place to go any time of the year, really. We love it in the summer, though, with the concerts in the evening, sometimes fireworks. The sunken gardens, the various garden areas, Japanese gardens and all that are very, very well done.
I think we have pictures like that from the past. Which is funny because they asked if they, on our annual pass, if we should, if they wanted us to take new pictures or if we wanted.
The next morning, we left Bouchard Cove and headed north around the Saanich Peninsula, and then wound our way up into Bedwell Harbor on Pender Island. Yeah, you look like Gilligan.
I know!
Your little cord has
You know, is it crooked?
it needs to go in the back.
I thought it was, uh-oh, do I have this on backward?
No, just the cord. See the?
Oh yeah, why does it keep
I don't know.
there?
They do. Oh, let me get Lewis out here.
really taking us
Yeah.
right toward that. But
Look at the current. Yeah, look at that.
it is crazy strong right here.
I know it's only going to get worse. This is the part I was telling Debbie and Lewis about that we couldn't avoid.
Yeah, I was a little concerned about being this close to the buoy because I'm getting washed right toward it.
Yeah.
Should have been on the other side.
What you can do is if you look at the debris coming off the wake,
Yeah.
you parallel it, and that way you don't get drawn towards it.
Yeah.
That means you have to pull a little off. But
Pull a little what? There.
a little bit starboard.
Starboard, yeah.
Yeah. But that's the kind of current we're fighting.
Feeling good when we get past that buoy.
Yeah, the current doesn't stop. You just aren't reminded of it constantly.
Man, it's crazy.
I know it. Okay, but it's in our favor once we get to southern tip of Moresby Island. Beautiful beaches back there. I think we were here years ago. You remember?
Is that Emery? That little one?
Could be. Oh, talk about that trip up to Canada and with the kids, and look what's up there on the hill. And you can see this on both sides, I noticed. It's the Mount Ptolemy Observatory,
Oh yeah.
that dome. Bedwell Harbor. This is the Poets Cove Resort up here. Debbie and Lewis stopped by to get some fuel and some ice. In fact, she's picking up an extra block of ice for us. We'll paddle in there later today, go visit the resort. We got a buoy, and oh, and this is really cool. Look at these rock faces. And then it turns out that in 1793, when the Columbia came through here, Captain Vancouver, the crew actually climbed up some of these rocks and left their names in there. And the weird thing is, of course, if you follow these rocks down, you see these big rocks down on the beach, and it makes me think probably not a good idea to anchor too close to the beach, because they are calving. Hey, Cher.
Yeah?
Let me show the pancakes. These are blueberry pancakes, and that's sherry. Ta-da! Okay, so, oh, it's got to be, on the cockpit here, it's got to be close to 80. So the rock striations over there are just bizarre when you look up close. The rock actually goes underwater, if you can imagine this. And when your dinghy lands, it lands on a sheet of rock. And these are pretty much vertical, and they're just bizarre. The next morning we took off from Bedwell Harbor and headed to Sucia, clearing customs along the way using a new app called Roam. There's my little lady. Oh, I gotta take that Canadian flag down now that we've cleared customs.
One of Louis' toes was.
Okay, so what do you break this time, Deb?
Tried to break his toe.
Oh, this is us at Sucia. And Sherry's pomegranate juice, right?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, and it's diluted and it's still pretty
Still
dark.
potent. I like that.
Need a little rum in there, Sherry. Don't need to toss the bottle. Where shall we go? Oh, good idea.
Tell them they can raft beside us. Yes,
It's now running a little bit. I've actually done that. We've shinnied up this pole to get onto the trail from this pocket beach.
I don't think that's true. We have to, Louis, you're going to have to tell us what your walking
Oh yeah. You know, it's probably a good
limit
thing to-
is. I
probably
think
a
it's
good
good
thing
for
to
you
leave it
too.
periodically.
Yeah.
Then I'm on lots of drugs,
Oh, good.
topical
Echo Bay, where we dropped, or actually we grabbed a mooring line, it's not unusual to have well over 100 boats at any given sunny afternoon in the bay. Very, very popular up there.
Okay, stay there. I'll come when you're done. I'll go up. No backside pictures.
and Okay, you ready?
Yes. Up underneath. Oh, look at the butterfly that just took off. That's freaked me out a little bit.
Here's where all that green went that was out in the water the other day.
Oh yeah. There was quite a bit of it too.
It's a matter of, a lot of these are shallow because there's rocks underneath. I mean, there may be mud on top.
Yeah. Sandstone underneath, yeah.
Yeah. We visited an area on the west side of Sucia. It's known as Shallow Bay, and it is actually very shallow. Also, there are some small reefs that protect the entrance to some of these bays, so you've got to be very careful.
That's awesome. Can you get that with a regular camera?
Well, yeah. Absolutely.
You'd have to find it first though.
You mean the moon?
The moon with the water and the pink, the perfect colors. They're just so amazing. And you can't do any telephoto with that, can you?
Oh yeah, check this out. You want to see the viewfinder?
Oh, I'll trust you on that. Is it perfect? Are you
got it.
getting it like right down the channel
Yep,
where it's centered?
yep.
I think you have to get it from this side of the boat. Portable.
What's that noise? Oh, it's them. Okay. In the morning, we left Echo Bay on Sucia, Headed down Rosario Strait, then down Bellingham Channel, up Guimi's Channel, and finally arrived at Anacortes. Hey Gilligan!
What?
I'm filming! Cute! There's Sucia back there. Sorry, correcting, course correction here. Debbie and Lewis on the way out of Sucia.
Wow, this is pretty good, Bob.
When the wind died, we motored the rest of the way home to Anacortes Marina.